You've got to pay landowners for their stewardship, especially of a scarce resource like this bird. At the end of the day, this is a real estate play, location, location, location. And there's not many folks in Colorado that have birds left. And so the ones that do have got to get paid a substantive amount of money to protect those acres that are still there permanently, and to restore acres as well to grow that habitat like I talked about earlier. So that's the stage before transmission and renewables even came along. Okay, so now you've got transmission and renewables coming out there, and these are rural areas. Some of these areas are miles away from interstates, miles away from roads. Folks have lived out there for generations. That they like their lifestyle. They like the outdoors, the quietness of it. They don't want people around. They don't want infrastructure around. And now all of a sudden this stuff is showing up. And, there's a lot of different opinions, but essentially a lot of folks believe they're not being paid enough for the inconveniences of these things. And then on top of that, when these new infrastructure come in, it's also creating regulatory risk, right? Because you weren't paying the landowners to take care of the birds. Now the new infrastructure, based on the science, is going to have some level of impact on the birds. And there's a lot of debate about how much impact wind towers and transmission towers have, but there is impact there. And you don't have many grasslands left. It's mostly farmland. So it just sets up this conflict where the rural landowners aren't real happy with the folks that are the developers and the utilities and the co-ops, and the folks even in Denver who are needing the new power to come from the plains back to the cities, which is causing part of the problem. And, the rural landowners aren't really being compensated, or at least they feel like they're not being compensated very well for any of those things. And then, of course, the transmission companies through state law have the power of eminent domain if the utilities and the co-ops can't negotiate a price everybody agrees to put that infrastructure in there. And the other thing, Adam, and I'll shut up about this, is there's a lot of folks who don't even really care what they're getting paid. They want to maintain their lifestyle. And as they see thousands of acres being chewed up for transmission development, wind development, and especially solar development. I mean, solar development, the good thing about solar is it uses Mother Nature's resource. It's a very cheap product. But it's kind of like building a housing subdivision out there. I mean, you're covering up many, many acres, like solid, with just a little bit of space between the arrays. And so you're taking farming production away. And there's folks that are scared that they can't keep farming. And even though the solar developers are paying a heck of a lot better than farming, no doubt about that, some of them just want to keep farming. So all these things have created this challenge we've got now.